Unit 1. Voting. In order to vote, you must be a citizen of the United States, must be 18 years or older, and will be under conviction, probation, or parole for a felony, treason, or election bribery. For jury duty is a service that is mandatory for U.S. citizens to attend. Juries give a verdict in legal cases on the basis of evidence submitted to them in court. Interacting successfully with government agencies. Some agencies include the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the U.S. Department of Defense. Interacting successfully will make the U.S. a safer place for all by gaining protection, making cleaner food, etc. Organizing and working in civic groups. Civic groups are any local service club, veterans post, fraternal society, and association, volunteer or rescue groups of 10 or more people not organized for profit but for educational or charitable purposes. Examples such as ARC and UNICEF. Volunteering. Volunteering is the act of one freely offering to do something. An example of this is where someone would go to homeless shelters, food banks, and would make sandwiches for the homeless people. Petitioning. Petitioning is when a person or group of people make a formal request to an authority. This idea is protected by freedom of speech. Picketing. Picketing is the action of standing or parading near a business or government office with signs in protest, claims and labor disputes, or public policy controversies. This is usually done in peaceful protests. Running for political office. There's many requirements for many different positions such as House of Representatives, Senate, President, and Vice President. But in particular for a senator, you need to be 30 years or older, a citizen for 9 years, and a resident of the state that you will represent. The Patriot Act was a law by George W. Bush, which the acronym stands for Uniting and Servicing America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism. USA Patriot, which stands for, and this was passed after 9/11 attacks. Homeland Security. It's a government agency that protects the U.S. and its territories from terrorist attacks and in response to large-scale emergencies. Sedition is the crime of revolting against government, and this is basically treason in a way. Civil rights. The civil rights of citizens are political and social freedom and equality. This is important to remember the 1960s civil rights movement by Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X and other activists. Equal rights under law. Every person under the law should not be denied equal rights based on the state level. This makes up the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. The Selective Service Act. This is an act passed by the U.S. government in order to raise a national army for service during World War I. This is basically conscription, through the process of conscription. Taxation is the practice of collecting taxes, which is money, from citizens based on their earnings and property. And the last term is rule of law. This is the principle that all people, institutions are subject to and accountable to law that is fairly applied and enforced.